Welcome, everyone, to a Friday episode of the Call Sheet Podcast here at the Fans First Sports Network. It is Hot Route Friday, where we always have a guest on to talk life and football. And back with us, the OG of Hot Route Conversations, Pez from Pez's Picks. Welcome back to the show, sir.
Always a pleasure, Coach. Always a pleasure. This is where we started it off, our first at bat at the Fans First Sports Network Sports Handicapping Department. And you've welcomed me to your family over there. You, the CEO, Jeffrey Hartman of Fairways and Dreams, Cutting Edge Golf Talk. It's been a great ride, Coach. It's been great. I can't ask for more.
I know, and we're happy to have you. The last time you were on was Super Bowl. We were previewing the Super Bowl. Since then, Pez's Picks has moved its base of operations. New headquarters for Pez's Picks. How's it all working out?
We're in some sort of weird kind of sunroom or Florida room. You know, we're entering into a slower phase in life. We've got home aquatics now. Move to a little quieter area. You know, as you get older here, you got to think of these things, Coach. You know this. So I think it's going to help us dial in. We've been hot on basketball picks. 5 straight, college, pro. Hopefully we're dialed into this March Madness. We've got some Oscar data that we've released and some suggestions. We're consulting Oscar picks now, Coach. That's how big we're getting. I think there's a couple really good ones out there. Though the movies this year, not very good, like the Super Bowl, not very good. So makes it a little more difficult, but I've got some ideas.
When you're betting Oscars right now we know that you've really established a foothold in the betting world. You know, well, that's like because once you get betting into the Oscars, it's almost like you've gone into your Elvis wearing velour jumpsuits phase. You know, where you're just like, I can do whatever the hell I want. That's a good place to be.
Believe it or not, and you know, we consulted with a couple of people that asked us for advice on a prediction market play on the date that the Strait of Hormuz would close, Coach. And I believe we nailed that. We determined that it would close before May 1st. The Iranians are saying it's close. Now, I don't know where the official who decides this, right? And I've told my clients that you won. Call up, you won. They declared no boats going through. So, you know, not to mock some sort of war or murder, but gambling's a war, Coach. When you make a bet and you can make some bets on some things you probably shouldn't, and morality might kick in. But we advise people on anything, Coach. Anything legal, we're going to give advice. And I think Strait of Hormuz is close today. I think everybody should call your local bookie or whoever you're betting with there.
I don't know anybody who's taking money on bets on the Strait of Hormuz, but that's sound advice. I like
Thank
it.
you.
Hey, we got a lot of stuff to get to on today's show. We got a lot of things lined up. Pez, I started a new segment a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to pull you in on it, right? I'm going to kick you 3 rapid fire questions.
Love it.
And you're going to just answer them. And they're not sports related here.
Love it.
But this is sort of a little get to know our guest. And I know the listeners know Pez, but we're going to learn some things about Pez right now. All right, Pez. Question number 1. Favorite type of pasta? Specific type. Are we talking linguine, rotini, gnocchi, something that ends in a vowel?
You want the pasta or the pasta with sauce, or just the pasta?
Well, yeah, give me the pasta, but you can throw in some sauce if you like.
If I had to pick one pasta, Coach, one to live with forever, I'm going to go with linguine. Linguine can carry any sauce. It can carry itself sans sauce. Throw a little butter, little oil, little cheese. The linguine, unlike the spaghetti, isn't very greedy. It doesn't suck up all the sauce. You get a little pasta taste too. I'm going to sound like some sort of food douche right now, but I order linguine from Italy, Coach, on that stupid Amazon. You can order from anything. The pasta you get from an Italian grocery store is better than the pasta you get in America, even if it's stamped from Italy. It's not from Italy. They save the good stuff for the Italians. We pay a little more, Coach. Lock it up on that.
Love it. I love it. DiCecco, if I go to a local supermarket, DiCecco in the light blue box is our go-to. But yeah, when I was in Italy, I got a little bowl of linguine as a side dish, and it came just like that, man. Linguine with a little olive oil and cheese, and they sprinkled a little parsley on it, and it was banging, man. So,
well, and you know, I married a Sicilian who grandmother from the old country.
Cook.
One of the hardest and simplest things to do, but to do it well is one of the hardest things to cook pasta properly. There's a combination of saving some of the pasta water, but she doesn't tell me there's always a set amount. There's a tasting involved. You need it al dente. You know that, Coach. You know it. Coach, I have a Giants fan that just walked through my house, a local artist, what we refer to as El Guapo. Favorite pasta, El Guapo, favorite pasta. Angel hair from the artist, and this guy's got great taste. He's a great artist. So linguine from Peasant's Picks from El Guapo art, angel hair, and I love
Yeah.
that for that guy.
It's very delicate pasta there. I would expect that from an artist, a little more
Yes,
delicate,
yes.
less robust.
He's got a Matisse touch. He's got a gentle hand.
Love it. Love it. All right, now, ready? Question number 2. You mentioned the Oscars coming up soon. Give me an actor who, if he's in a movie, or it could be an actress, if she's in a movie, you're watching it. Who's a must-see actor or actress for you?
Had these conversations a lot over my life. I like you. We grew up in the golden age of movies, entertaining movies. I'm not saying this is my favorite actor, but Tom Cruise, 90+% of the time, whatever he's in is going to be enjoyable. Tom Cruise is a lunatic, Coach, and maybe that's why he's enjoyable. I can't think of a bad movie Tom Cruise was in that I didn't enjoy, going all the way back to The Outsiders, All the Right Moves, Mission Impossible, Magnolia, Tropic Thunder. This guy,
Tropic Thunder.
maybe the
Love it.
greatest American actor of our lives. I mean, this guy is a hit maker. He's kind of like, though, in your opinion, probably the journey of actors. Now, he doesn't always make great art, but he's very entertaining. So Tom Cruise, I'll take.
You know, Magnolia is kind of low key one of my favorite movies. Probably a lot of people listening probably haven't even seen it. You know, we're going back 25 years on Magnolia now, but Tom Cruise's role in Magnolia as just a testosterone laden, you know, motivational speaker who's trying to like teach guys how to get laid is about as good as I've ever seen him. And it has a wonderful turn where he's being interviewed and the interviewer gets him to be vulnerable and he snaps at her. It's a brilliant job by him in that role.
Jerry Maguire, one of the best movies I've ever seen. You tell me you didn't choke up, Coach, and that's a lot. Every man chokes up in Jerry Maguire. Whoever that little blonde kid is, I'd adopt him tomorrow. I wonder what happened to him. This is a good question. Maybe the audience can help us out with that. I was hoping he would just stay that, like that Brad Pitt movie where he doesn't age. Maybe you just keep that little kid around. Fantastic. What movie could you think of Tom Cruise was in that you didn't enjoy? I mean, this is what we should really get down to, right? This guy, he'd be a Hall of Fame hitter. He's the Pete Rose of acting. Everyone is a hit. Everyone.
Yeah, because even the ones that are like not wonderfully done are still entertaining, like The Firm. The Firm, it's a great plot, so might not be an artistic movie, but it's a great plot. And he's running in every movie. He's sprinting in every movie.
Guy is a tremendous runner. I picked up on that in his latest Maverick. This guy trains, on his craft. He's got great posture. Who knows if he's fast? I mean, he's probably very slow, which I think is even more entertaining. When he came riding out on that crotch rocket in Top Gun 2, I laughed. I got shushed, but I thought this is Hollywood. This is it. Yeah. People applauded that guy. I love him. Tom Cruise. Hope we get another 20 years out of that guy. He looks younger than he did 20 years ago, so I don't know what he's doing, but I'll take it.
Yeah, great answer. All right, one more. St. Patty's Day next week. If you're going to the bar, you're a good Irishman, right? You got some Irish blood in you. If you're going to the bar, what's your go-to St. Patty's drink?
I think you have to have a Guinness on St. Patty's Day. Maybe a shot, maybe the perennial car bomb. Maybe you do one, you drop the shot into the Guinness, about a half. But you got to have a Guinness. I think a Guinness is appropriate. I don't think you have to go all out on St. Patty's Day, though. I think that's a little amateurish. It's like getting bombed on New Year's Eve. Enjoy yourself. You don't have to get sloppy. But a wonderful beer, Guinness, maybe the most historic beer of all time. Great series on the Netflix of the history of that family. They weren't good people, but they held on to that thing up until about 1980, independently owned.
I'm impressed by the gentler, wiser version of Pez we're getting right now. You're in a Florida room. You're advocating responsible drinking. Look at you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You're an adult, Pez. Look at you. Fantastic.
I
All right.
favorite St. Patty's Day. I walked in the old Vegas St. Patty's Day parade on St. Patty's Day during March Madness about 20 some years ago with three friends of mine in full Elvis jumpsuits. We carried the Sin City rugby team's banner. We've got pictures from the being on the news. One of the most fun days of my life, Coach. That was a great one. You could buy a plastic football of green beer in Old Vegas. They have a stupid Irish casino under the laser light show. Every beer we finished, you had to spike it and smash the plastic. Fantastic town, Vegas. St. Patty's Day might be the best town.
Hmm. That's an interesting question. Where would the best place in America be to celebrate St. Patty's Day? That's an interesting question. All right, let's do this. Let's pivot. You are Pez's picks after all. Gambling is your focus here at the Fans First Sports Network, and we are coming up on some interesting gambling events. March Madness, we're not going to talk about that too much right now. I know you want to see the field get set before you really weigh in on that. The Masters is a great gambling holiday, so to speak. But we've also just seen the first week of NFL free agency completed, and that's where the most moves are made. There's still going to be some big ones, but the majority of the free agency shuffling is done. And Super Bowl odds have been adjusted as a result. I'll give you kind of the updated odds as of this morning on DraftKings. They now have the Rams after the big trade with Kansas City that landed them elite corner Trent McDuffie. They now have the Rams at plus 750 as the Super Bowl favorite. Next, you at plus 900, you have Seattle, Buffalo, and Baltimore. And then we get into odds 15-1, Kansas City and Green Bay, 16-1, your Philadelphia Eagles. Thoughts on any of that, Pez?
Well, let's run down the list, Coach. And these odds are to motivate and stimulate action. I don't think it's necessarily they think these teams are the most likely ones to win. I think at this point, we're looking to balance action, stimulate action. So we'll start. The Rams, we both know, they stink, Coach. They stink. The defense stinks, right? They're not winning the Super Bowl. Seattle, the biggest Fugazi Super Bowl champion in my life. I have never seen a worse Super Bowl, a worse Super Bowl champion team, worse quarterback play. They're gone. Buffalo Bills, did they get better? They fired the coach, but did they get better? I don't think so. I mean, you have to give that guy some weapons. You have to balance the team, and I just don't see it yet. Baltimore Ravens, Lamar, very old. He looked like crap last year, right? The running back couldn't get older. What the hell happened with this Crosby trade? What is going on down there? Forget about them. Chargers, Herbert, he stinks. For moving on from there, they just stink. The Chiefs, interesting play right here, plus 1,600. I think that could be worth, maybe a $10 or $20 play where you're collecting some good money there. 320 on a $20 play. It's a Kansas City Chiefs. Mahomes appears to be on track to come back. I believe they kept a nucleus and they've added some weapons. Niners stink. Lions stink. Packers stink. Now we get to the Philadelphia Eagles, Coach. Plus 1,700. Why wouldn't we take this? This is probably the best defense on that list. I'll take them over Seattle. The Ravens defense, I don't see a better defense on that list. Maybe you could argue the Chiefs play a great scheme, but I think Philadelphia Eagles have better players. We just added another D-back. We're going to re-sign our big horses on the D-line. I love them all day at plus 1,700. I think that's by far the best value play.
That wouldn't be biased in any regard, would it, Pez?
Well, in a gambling sense, I would say no. I'm wearing the hat. But you pick a team that has better value than the Philadelphia Eagles on there. I just don't see it. I don't. Maybe Buffalo. But that team is not built to win in the playoffs. They haven't surrounded that guy with enough weapons. You got a new coach now. I don't like betting new coaches to win Super Bowls. Baltimore, new coach. Who knows what's going to happen there? I think the Chiefs and the Eagles, if you want to make a future bet in March, that's a proven system that's going to make the playoffs at the very least. And I think that either one of them could win the Super Bowl. No one's going to be surprised.
It's a great point about the new coach because there's only been two coaches in NFL history that have won the Super Bowl in their first year with their new team. So obviously you're battling history there. And then, that eliminates a lot of teams, Buffalo and Baltimore and a couple of these other contender types. Let's talk about some longer shots. What do you think about my Pittsburgh Steelers at 50-1?
Well, I love the Steelers. You know that. I love Mike Tomlin. McCarthy is a loser. I think it's the worst front office move I've seen the Steelers make in my life. I know he's some local guy, and a lot of people probably like it that are listening to you. I'm not hating on your team. I'm loving your team. McCarthy is a loser. He doesn't control the team. He lets the stars get out of control. We saw it happen in Green Bay. We saw it happen in Dallas. And, crazy Aaron Rodgers, I guess, is your quarterback. McCarthy ain't telling that guy what to do. So I don't like their chances. And I think their odds went down when they selected him as coach, and that's a bad sign for me.
I'm with you. I don't like their chances to win the Super Bowl. I think that they have just too many pieces. I think the Steelers right now are trying to build up the team so that when they finally do land their franchise quarterback, they'll be ready to compete. They're not going to do hey, let's get the quarterback first and then build the team. They're kind of doing it. That's how they did it with Roethlisberger. When Ben Roethlisberger stepped into the starting lineup, they had a championship caliber roster. They just needed the quarterback to finish it. And I think that that's the path they're trying to walk. 50-1 odds, maybe you put $10 down if you're a fan, but they're a long shot for sure.
There's two teams that I saw stand out the other day when I looked over this. Indianapolis Colts plus 3,300, not a bad play. That team looked like the Super Bowl champion. Danny Dimes gets banged up a little bit, but he's coming back, just signed to a big contract. I assume they're going to make some moves and get better. I haven't been watching their moves too tightly, but I think the Colts have the defense. They've got the home field advantage. That's a tough place to play on that turf. I love them at plus 3,300. Some low-hanging fruit that cracks me the hell up, Coach. Cincinnati Bengals plus 3,300. They're on like the third page of most likely to win the Super Bowl. I think a lot of people are going to jump on that. That defense stinks. It's a selfish kind of offense, puts too much pressure on the defense. So I would not make a move on that. But Indianapolis Colts plus 3,300. I think that's probably the greatest value play on this whole list. Are likely to win? No. You've got nobody on that team that ever won a Super Bowl. So that's why Chiefs and Steelers, to me, a little bit more, rational value. And that's probably why their odds are cut in half of what the Colts are. But I like the Colts' chances. I could see that happening.
All right, let's talk super long shot. Right now we know. Well, we don't know, but we're fairly certain none of these teams are going to win the Super Bowl. But if you had to pick one of these five teams, they're all 100-1. They're all 100-1 odds. If you had to pick, just to lay a little bit of money down, the Giants, New Orleans, Atlanta, Carolina, Tennessee. Giants, New Orleans, Atlanta, Carolina, Tennessee. All 100-1. Give me one of those teams worth throwing $20 on.
They all stink, Coach. Let's face it.
Yeah,
So
yes, they do.
maybe
Yes, they do.
out of that load of garbage, I guess the Giants, because my man's here walking around in Giants gear, and he's doing some art for me here, so he's probably listening, Coach. So Giants, the best value long shot play. I like the quarterback. I like the running back. New coach, I think, is an improvement in that situation. So I'll say Giants. That's not a ridiculous play.
No, it's not, because what you get in Harbaugh, like I liken the Giants right now to where the Patriots were a year ago. They had a rookie quarterback. They were a dysfunctional mess. And then you got a pros coach, Mike Vrabel, who came in and cleaned up the house. They put a lot of money into the team in free agency on the defensive side of the ball. They surrounded Drake May with some talent, and they made a great run. I mean, I'm not saying the Giants are going to do that, but it's not inconceivable for John Harbaugh to come in there and do the same thing Vrabel did. They do have a good amount of talent at the skill positions. They've got some dudes on the defensive line. I mean, it's not inconceivable the Giants could make a run.
They've got a solid running back, a solid quarterback, solid receiver, and the defense very good. And if we learn anything from Seattle, if you get hot in the regular season, you get some sort of home field advantage for a couple rounds, you can make it, right? I mean, home field advantage is huge in the playoffs, and Seattle proved that. I don't think they were the best NFC team, but they played the best at the right moments, and defense definitely carried them. You know Harbaugh's cutting down on turnovers. He's going to have an offense that's going to tick the clock, and it puts his team in positions to win. So I kind of like it, and I think there's a lot of excitement with that team. It's New York, and they're going to make some moves to try to improve the line. I would hope that O-line wasn't very high last year, so I like that. Out of those teams, I'll say the Giants is a feasible option.
Yeah, Jackson Dart did a lot of good things as a rookie, and he'll probably take a leap in his second year. Let's pivot real quick and just talk about some football news in general. The big story this week, and you referenced it a couple minutes ago, was the Max Crosby debacle. What do you make of that? Is that just Baltimore seeing a better opportunity and taking it? They didn't do anything illegal, but they definitely toyed with the rules and screwed over a lot of teams who made moves based upon what they figured was going to happen. What's your take on the Max Crosby thing?
Well, maybe it was a wise move in many ways. Maybe it blocked from going to some sort of maybe the Bengals were making a move for them or something like that. Maybe the Steelers. So, and I think clearly when they looked at that evaluation by the doctors, there's got to be something wrong with that knee. That knee must not be where they want it to be. Must not be a guarantee is going to be 100%. And when you're a speed position player on either side of the ball, you can't. You could lose 2/10, 2/100 on your 40-yard time, and that can make you from a great player to a mediocre player, right? It doesn't take much in that league. So I applaud them, and I don't think it was made up. I think they really evaluated it. They agreed that he's not ready to play. Just came off crutches a couple weeks ago. I didn't know that until after the trade was squashed. And the guy is a little crazy, coach. This guy's a little nuts. So at the end of the day, I don't say that what they did was a bad move or screwing anybody. It's a kill or be killed world. This is a multi-billion-dollar corporate fight. I mean, it's like saying Coke and Pepsi got along well. Of course they don't. It's for profit. It's for victory. Coaches, GMs, their livelihood is on the line for this stuff. So no one's making friends out there. And, I don't know what the deal is with Crosby, but I think they made the right move and they picked up a decent D lineman anyway.
I've just started to watch Mad Men. I'd never watched the series before. I just finished season 1.
Tremendous.
Don Draper would have pulled out of that deal if he thought he could get a better one. No doubt about it.
If there's a cooler TV character than Don Draper, I don't know, Coach. This guy, he is a remarkably good character. The one that kind of ruined John Hamm's career. But Don Draper would never take a bad deal. Sterling Cooper would never take that kind of a bad deal. I think I missed my time, Coach. I could have been an ad man. I enjoy everything that those guys, except for the sexual assault of the women. I don't partake in that. I don't approve of that, Coach. But the treatment of the women aside, great time to be alive. A great time to be a businessman. And what kind of 45-year-old executive is drinking bourbon at work? I bet they're still doing it, right, Coach? They must be. They must be. You can't do that in the gambling world. You got to stay sound of mind. That's why we've got the Coca-Cola today while we're talking about it. After the end of the day, you get to. But Don Draper, God bless him. I love him. Great season in Fargo as well, that Don Draper.
Yeah, John Hamm. I mean, he's a great actor, and we talked about actors earlier in the show, and John Hamm's a guy who commands the screen, and like if he's in it, you think to yourself, oh, this is going to be good. John Hamm's in it.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a real man. That's a real 100% American man right there. Let's get him on the show, Coach. We can set up some sort of cocktails. We'll hit the town. Great show on HBO with that guy, or Apple, whatever the hell it is, when he's some sort of thief. I don't know if you watched this one. He's stealing from his rich friends up in the Hamptons. I don't know if you saw that one.
Oh, that sounds like a great idea. Steal from your rich friends in the Hamptons.
With the Munn girl. It's a fantastic show. I wish I knew the name, but all these shows run together a little bit.
I think John Hamm would enjoy these conversations. These are good conversations, right?
Did some great interviews. I've heard Hamm on Howard Stern, a Midwestern boy. So I like him. Keep watching that show. Mad Men, I contend, a top 3 series in TV history. That's it. Mad Men. I'll go Mad Men, Sopranos, and Entourage, Coach. That's my 3. It's my top 3 right there.
Okay. I'll go. I can't say Mad Men. I've only watched season 1, but right now, for me, my favorite series of all time is The Wire.
Yeah.
And so, we'll see where this winds up on the list. After I plow through 6 more seasons, we'll revisit this conversation.
I love it.
Pez, as always, great conversation. Congratulations on the new headquarters there and life in the Florida room.
Appreciate it, Coach. And for all your listeners, we're giving away some gold here. We've got 2 great Oscar bets. Kate Hudson, Song Blue. I don't know if you saw that. It's with her and Hugh Jackman with the Neil Diamond kind of tribute situation.
Okay.
Great movie. Plus 4,000 for Best Actress for her. I think this is the greatest value Oscar bet ever. She put on 30 pounds for the role. In Hollywood, putting on weight or losing weight, generally that's an actor thing. When a woman does it, and that's a risky business in that town. Unfortunately, she changed her entire look. She sang in the movie, Coach. She actually sang her parts. Plus 4,000, fantastic. And we're going with Michael B. Jordan, Sinners, Best Actor, plus 150. The Chamelette guy is the favorite. I don't think Hollywood likes him. He's a Kardashian guy. And his movie was annoying. It was about a very hard-to-like ping pong player. So I think all that adds up to Michael B. Jordan, Sinners. Two value plays right there, Coach. Put a little money on it. Enjoy the show. I watch those Oscars every year. It's a great show.
Sinners was a fantastically creepy movie. It made me uncomfortable the entire time. I was That's a good horror movie. Not really horror movie, suspense movie when you're uncomfortable the whole time.
Since Michael B. Jordan played 2 humans, should he have 2 nominations? I mean, what's the deal here? I mean, maybe he played 2 different people, but he was the same person. I mean, this guy, double actor of the year, in my opinion. We should get those odds double.
Michael B. Jordan got his start in The Wire. He was one of the corner boys, and unfortunately, he got taken out by his buddies. Had to take him out. Sad ending there for.
Had to watch out for Omar. Omar be coming.
Yeah. Pez, great talk, great conversation as always, man. Check Pez out at Pez's Picks. You can go to his website. You can get his premium stuff. He's got a lot of stuff coming now. Obviously, with the Masters, the Oscars, March Madness. Going to be a busy spring over there at Pez's Picks.
We got baseball a few weeks away, and we're right back in the NFL, Coach. We're right back. We're only 4 months out or so, maybe 5. I don't know.
It's great stuff as always. Pez, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Have a great weekend.
You too.
To everybody who's listening as well, enjoy your weekend. Hopefully the spring weather starts to emerge. We can get outside and maybe walk off some of the fat we might have gained over the winter. And until then, I'll be back on Monday morning here at the Call Sheet. This is Coach Kevin Smith for Pez from Pez's Picks. Have a great weekend, everybody.